Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is your council minute for the week of December 28th. We didn't have a council meeting this week, and as you might expect, things are a bit quiet around City Hall. So I thought this might be a good opportunity to take a look back and reflect a bit on the past 12 months. So where do you start when recapping a year like 2020? There's a lot of words we could use to describe the year. Many of them I probably shouldn't say in this family-friendly format, but the word that I would use is extraordinary, and I would break it in half to extraordinary. It was an extraordinary year. Nothing about 2020 was normal, certainly worldwide, but specifically here in Bloomington. The city of Bloomington has operated under an emergency declaration for most of the year. Our public buildings are currently locked. Community events have been canceled. Students are learning from home. We declared curfews in the city of Bloomington. If that's happened before, I haven't found anyone who remembers it. This was an extraordinary year, and it has been a challenge. I want you to think about all that we've lost in the past 12 months. As a result of COVID-19, we've lost almost 320,000 of our fellow Americans, almost 5,000 Minnesotans, and more than 100 of our neighbors right here in Bloomington. But there's more to that sense of loss. We've lost far too many businesses. Many people have lost their jobs and their livelihoods. Many have lost the ability to support and to feed themselves or their family. People have lost their homes. Many have lost the sense of security and safety. And I'm sure many have lost any feeling of control of their lives. Frankly, some people are just lost. We've also lost those community events that bring us together and make Bloomington a true community. Summerfest, Heritage Days, the Firemen's Softball Tournament, River Rendezvous, high school sports, just hanging out at a coffee shop or a watering hole with friends. We should have had great community events celebrating 100 years of the old Cedar Avenue Bridge and the grand opening of our new fire station number 3. That's a lot of loss. And with loss comes grief. It is hard. This has been a hard year. And I think everyone understands that while there's a light at the end of the tunnel, vaccines that give us hope against COVID-19, we know this is going to be a dark and sad winter. Okay, this isn't shaping up to be a very uplifting end of the year message, is it? So let's turn it around a bit. Like everyone, I hope and pray that 2021 is better. And I really do believe that regardless of all that's going on around us, a better 2021 starts with me. It starts with you. It starts with all of us. And the two best ways to jumpstart a better 2021 are with a sense of gratitude and by looking at all that we managed to accomplish this year despite everything. So first of all, thank you. Thank you to everyone who played a part, either large or small, in helping us get through this year. Thanks to our healthcare workers, the doctors and nurses and personal care attendants. Thanks to our essential workers, and boy did that definition change this year. Thanks to anyone who works in our food supply chain, from the farmers to the truckers to the grocery store workers. Thanks to our transit workers, thanks to our custodians, thanks to our teachers, thanks to our police officers and firefighters and EMTs, thanks to our parents and grandparents and caregivers. Each and every one of you, you're all rock stars. Thanks to everyone on the Bloomington City staff. You have done remarkable work this year under incredibly difficult circumstances. And thanks to you, the residents of Bloomington. Thanks for all that you've done over the past 12 months to make this community a better place. Which leads to my second point on how we move into a better 2021. Taking a minute to remember all of the good things that were done in 2020. First, I am in awe that our education system has functioned as well as it has. Is it perfect? No. But consider last spring when the pandemic first broke, and in a very short period of time, teachers, students, and parents made the quick pivot to online education. That has never been done before. It has its flaws, but to do distance learning at that scale that we have, even 5 or 10 years ago, it would have been unthinkable. So hats off to our partners in Bloomington schools, and to all of the parents, and to, of course, the students. Outstanding job. Hats off also to our community partners, our business community, our service providers, VEEP, Oasis for Youth, Normandale, our faith communities, our arts organizations, everyone who has come together to try and figure out ways to make this all work. We have a great foundation in place for the future as we align our work to do good things for Bloomington. Through it all, the City of Bloomington continued to work very hard for you, the residents and businesses of Bloomington. Now, I think they did an outstanding job, but you might accuse me of being a bit biased. I'll tell you that 86% of respondents in the recent Bloomington Resident Survey said that the overall customer service by Bloomington employees was excellent or good. Just consider this list of accomplishments. Improvements at the Bloomington Ice Garden, the opening of Fire Station 3, promoting the 2020 census, completing the Dred Scott Field Wheelhouse, taking on a park master planning process. Our fire department and park and rec staff worked with Bloomington schools to provide lunch to students. Staff administered small business loans to help during the pandemic. We partnered with the Homes for Heroes project. We started design work on the Lyndale Avenue corridor. Our police department stepped up in an enormous way. And our city clerk's office flawlessly administered an election during a pandemic with 85% voter turnout. If you remember way back in January, the City Council added engagement and transparency as council strategic priorities. Our Community Outreach and Engagement Division, we call it COED, they took on the challenge of connecting with and engaging residents in a time when we couldn't get together. They hosted virtual events, engaged residents in community conversations on important issues like race and homelessness, and found ways to keep everyone engaged. We established the Community Budget Advisory Committee to help with the budgeting process in this difficult year. 9 Bloomington residents took in information, got a lot of feedback from the community, and made solid recommendations on the property tax levy and the city service reductions. At the suggestions of residents, we moved our study sessions to the council chambers and began televising them. Now everybody can easily see and hear our policy and planning discussion in their entirety. You can watch the sausage being made, your city government at work. We started a video series called Q&A with the BPD. Police Chief Jeff Potts answering your questions on all things police and public safety related. And we started this, our Council Minute. We've done more than 40 of these now, and based on the feedback from residents, we're absolutely going to keep doing them. You know, apart from the pandemic, the death of George Floyd in May was clearly the most impactful moment of the year for many, many people. Nationally and across the globe, it was an event that finally made individuals and institutions confront the topic of race. It certainly did here in Bloomington. I'm proud of the work the community has done and the conversations that have taken place. The council adopted a racial equity business plan and is working on a resolution declaring racism to be a public health crisis. I know there were uncomfortable conversations in our schools, in our churches, and around our dinner tables. But I know it's all part of what we need to do if we're to move forward as a community so we all have equal and equitable opportunities to be successful. I also know we still have lots of work to get done. And finally, we need to celebrate the work done throughout this community by neighbors, by faith communities, schools, community groups, and people just wanting to do the right thing in an incredibly difficult time. You've been diligent with your safety, compassionate and generous with your neighbors, supportive of local businesses, and patient and understanding as we've all worked through some tough times. You know, the original idea of community meant common unities, people with a common purpose, common values, and living in unity. We might not always live in perfect unity, but the strength of this community has never been more evident and has never been more needed than it has been in the past 12 months. Thank you, and well done. So as we turn the calendar to 2021, where do we go? The obvious answer is we go forward. You've heard me say before my favorite Winston Churchill quote, "When you're going through hell, keep going." That's what we're going to do as a community in 2021. We're going to keep going. We're going to move forward. Work together to find the best path. Extend a helping hand to those who need one. And continue to make Bloomington the best city it can be. How will we do that? I guess that depends on how extraordinary 2021 is. Thank you all for your support during this challenging year. I hope you all have a blessed and safe and happy 2021. Stay safe, Bloomington.